Guys, I'm super excited to be back home. I'm super excited to be making this video, and I hope that I get to inspire someone out here. I want to talk about a very interesting topic, and that is gratitude. So, this is something that we may take for granted, but this is something that we actually need in our lives. Um, I'm going to tell you a story about my own life. I've caught myself, at a point where I was failing to be grateful for the things that are happening to me in my life. Oftentimes we dream, and this dream kind of seems like it's so far away, like it's going to take you ages. Sometimes we even get the feeling that we might even, get to the end of our lives without realizing our goals or dreams. So here I was, I'm almost hitting my 30s, and I realized that I was checking off most of the boxes, that I had on my to-do list, in this life. And recently, I got the opportunity to participate in the constructive dialogues on trafficking in persons, and that was happening in Vienna, Austria, at the United Nations headquarters. You guys, this is a dream that I've had, my entire life. I really wanted to go and represent young people, and I'd been part of these constructive dialogues, for quite some time. But this was happening online. I had never got the opportunity to be there, in real time, to see how the action goes down. And the opportunity, shows itself. Actually, I was supposed to go, the previous year, but then my visa came in a bit late. So this was it for me. And to shock you, um, everything was happening, and I was feeling so numb. I don't know if any of you has ever had this kind of experience. Like, this is something that you've wanted your entire life. Like, you would do anything, to get to that space. You've put in all the hard work, the sleepless nights, doing a lot of work here and there, and then it is happening, and you lump, you don't feel anything anymore. So, guys, I realized, I caught myself at that point in time that I was not being grateful, that I was not being intentional. So it is until today. Imagine I traveled probably 1 week or 2 weeks back, and this is the point that I'm recollecting my feelings, and sitting down and saying, okay, this is something amazing that happened in my life. I have to be appreciative of that. And I guess now I really do understand, what happens in the lives of actors, and all those people that we see who run marathons, people who are in sports, whereby someone hits, maybe they get a golden medal, or they hit, that biggest target that anyone would want to hit. And then after they've checked off that box, many of them, kind of, they disappear. Not just disappear, but sometimes even their lives may go astray. Some of them even start using substances, because we haven't prepared for what we shall do after we have checked off that box in our lives. And I think this is the space that I found myself, because I'm telling you, I caught myself in these past few days. After, my goal had happened, one of my goals had happened, I found myself, like, life was slow. I didn't know what to do next. I was like, okay, now this is done. So what next? I didn't know, where to start. It is up until now that I'm taking the time and I'm doing the work to really reflect on, this box has checked. So what next? And, people are looking at you, because now you are responsible for people. You have taken on leadership positions here and there, and people have expectations of you to deliver in those roles that you have taken on. But here you are, you can't explain it to anyone. And it's taking a lot of courage for me to come on here and talk about this experience, because I'm pretty sure that people who know me, people who are close to me, they won't believe this shit, you guys. They won't believe it because I I've been going through this, but I've been showing up each and every day, showing up, because I mean, I have responsibilities. I'm not going to wake up and tell people today I'm not going to show up because I'm not feeling up to it, because I feel like, I don't see any reason why I need to continue pushing forward. But I've learned that it's really very important to keep one foot in front of the other. That even when we find ourselves in those spaces whereby everything is silent, whereby nothing makes sense anymore, whereby you feel like you just want to stay in your bed, and sleep, and not have to worry about everything else in the world. Waking up, pushing yourself to say, okay, remaining disciplined is what you need in that moment, but also continuing probably with the routine that you've had prior can also be a tool that you can use that can help you to remain motivated. So this evening I came back home, and everything is coming back into place. And even in this space you may catch yourself making wrong decisions, because you're confused, you don't know what to do next. So I've caught myself there, and I think now I really understand what happens to people who are like, we've had people like, is it this lady who was running, and I'm forgetting her name, but then she disappeared, off the scenes, and we don't see her anymore. There are so many football players that we've seen, they've been successful, they've had it all, but then all of a sudden, I guess this is what happens. So um, I think we need to be very intentional, but also when we are planning, when we are drawing our, people have vision boards. So at the end of this vision board, when you have checked off each and every target that you have, what are you going to do next? And probably this is also what happens to people who are forced into retirement. I mean, you're working and working and working, you come to your 60s, but your inner child is still there, you're still a baby inside, but people are seeing you, you're 60 years old, and they have expectations of you to be on top of your game, to have everything together, to have everything figured out. But that is not the case. And that is why on a daily basis, when I'm speaking with the ladies who are part of the Doughty movement, um, I always encourage them to be to be empathetic, because we don't know what other people are going through on a daily basis. Even when people show up in our lives and they act a certain type of way, or they don't treat us well, I encourage people to um, choose to understand that other person, because oftentimes it's not about us. Someone has had a rough maybe night, and they're walking into the workplace with all of this stress, and if they have not been trained on how to manage that, then there's a high likelihood that this person is going to come with all this stress, and they're going to frustrate you. So if you haven't prepared yourself well enough either to deal with those kinds of situations, I always encourage people, meditate before you walk into your day, such that when you walk into your day, then you're going to have the tools, that you're not going to be reactive, you're going to show up as a proactive person. I recently I went through a very difficult situation in my life, and I believe if it was another version of me that was going through this kind of situation, losing someone is not very simple in your life. So if I believe if it was a different version of myself, I would have been reactive in that situation instead of being proactive and saying, okay, probably this person is going through so many things that I have no idea about. So I need to be responsible for myself and say, okay, let me create space for them to be able to heal and deal with the situations that are going on in their lives. And let me also take the responsibility on myself, to take care of myself, to heal myself. So that's my message for you today. Be grateful, but also be empathetic to other people around you, and love yourself in every